Today I just want to show you the most common and useful tools in Illustrator Adobe program. I have it open right here. This is one of the examples of the work I've done in this program, and I'll just show you some of these tools in this work. So basically the most useful one and common one is selection tool. When I choose selection tool, I can select paths, which I've done in here. Just to continue talking about these paths and layers, I need to tell you about them. So you can see all your layers in here. First thing is that small icon of the eye, which actually shows you the path. If you turn it off, if you can see that, the shadows disappear. Or here, for example, the code just disappears. If you turn it off, it doesn't mean that you delete it. It means that it makes it invisible for just like a moment until you turn it on back. And this stuff in here, which are like small logs, is toggles log. And when you log the layer, you don't have an access to that one. So for example, if I log all of these layers, and I'll choose selection tool, which is here, I can't choose the path. It's like not possible to do because all the layers are locked. So if you made a layer and you want to finish working with that, but you don't want to accidentally move it or something else, you just log the layers and yeah, they will just stay where they are. These colors actually show you the color of the path. So for example, if I choose like this layer, like shadows, and I drag my selection tool in here, so this color in here, like orange stroke, shows you that this is this layer. This arrow actually allows you to open all the paths you've done on this layer, so there are some different paths. So you can see how many paths do you have, which exactly. And yeah, it can help you in just more detailed work. This element, if you just click on that, this element will show you all the paths you've done on this particular layer. Like for example, yeah, and I can just like choose the layer and click, and I see the paths I've done on that one. So yeah. This is almost, I think, everything with the layers except naming. If you wanna name the layer, you just double click it and change the name, like type it in. To close it, you just click somewhere else. And to make a new layer, you create a new layer in here with this icon, and you double click it. For example, it's I don't know, check layer, and you click return or enter. It's here. Yeah, so for now it's nothing on this layer, but now you can work on it. If you want to work on some different particular layers, you just choose it. You just like click it once and you will work on this layer, not on another one, so your work will be saved just in here. To delete the layer, for example, I want to delete this check layer, you just go in this small button which is delete section and you delete it. And that's pretty much everything. This is the direct selection tool, which is pretty much almost the same thing like a usual selection tool. I'll just lock most of my layers and I'll just make a new one on which I can work. And I choose my pen tool in here, which is just a usual pen. The thing is, this pen tool makes only straight lines, so you can kind of make it like with dots, so you can make any rectangular or whatever shape, but it will make only straight lines. So if you see this small circle when you just make a shape, for example, and you want to close it, if you want to make sure that it's closed, you just should see this small circle just next to the pen tool thing right here, and if you just click here, the shape is closed, and I can, for example, take this shape and kind of move it around here. I can make it bigger by this dragging this anchor, like the angle of the shape. If I want to rotate it here, I should go a little bit out of the shape box and I see this kind of like tool, this small icon, and I just drag it how I want to rotate it. I can make it smaller, like here, like, or wider, or I can just play with it like this. And for example, like let's pretend I want to change the color of this shape. So this is the box for the color inside the shape, and this is the box for the stroke. For example, I want to make like red stroke. I make a red stroke, but now currently I don't see it so much because it's like the same color of the layer, so let's make it green. Now maybe you can see that more. We will just kind of look it bigger, zoom in with the zoom tool. So yeah, now you can see the green stroke, but let's pretend I want to make this stroke bigger. I choose this stroke selection, and I go here, which is like stroke, and here's the size of the stroke, and you can make it bigger or smaller. I want to make it big so you can see that, and I can choose the type of the stroke, so it could be different types in here. So yeah, I'll just choose a one. I want to change the opacity. Opacity is how visible your element is. So for example, if you want to make the color not so like bright, not even like the color, but the actual element, you want to make it a little bit clear or transparent, you just go here and you change your opacity. So, and then it will make whole shape like a little bit transparent, how you can see that. Or you can choose it here, or you can just like type like 60%, for example, and it changes. Just click return after that, the enter. Yeah, and the same thing I can do with this part, which is actual filling in the shape. I can make it different colors. I can change the opacity, but opacity actually goes for all the parts of your shape, stroke and your fill-in both. So yeah, and here we still have like stroke settings. If you want to make it without any color, you just click this one. This button makes it like just transparent, no color in here. If you want to make a gradient, you can click here, and here the window appears, and you can make the gradient with this window. So for example, I will take my eyedropper tool, and I want to make gradient from this color to like, let's pretend this color, yeah, and I'll just drag it here. I can delete the previous colors and delete stuff, and here I just click them, I just delete them, but you need to have at least 2 colors in your gradient, and I choose this one, and I just do like this. I can drag them differently, how do I want, so yeah. And here's the gradient, and I can make radial gradient or linear one, and I can make my stroke gradient, so it's like pretty much the same thing but with the stroke. Maybe you can see how it changes. So let's stay on our usual filling in so you can see it better. If you want to rotate the gradient, the color, you go to the gradient tool in here in your tools, and you can see this line, which is actually a kind of like actual like gradient, which you can move. You can move it like this in different like different ways, so it could be more of this color or more of this color, or for example, if your shape is too big or too small, you can just take it from this. You can just take it from this side with a small square, and you just make it smaller or make it bigger, so it's more smooth or more strong colors, like not so smooth like in this case. If you want to rotate your gradient, the same thing is in here. You can see this small icon, and you just click it when you see that, and you just rotate it. Yeah, and you can move however you want to move it. So yeah. We can close this window just like this, or we can open that, and there are some more tools, like for the stroke, one more time, transparency. Here you can see the color and color guide, which are like different types of the colors. You can see them here. If you need a particular types of the colors, like more bright or usual ones, or here you can see all of the colors, just all of them. So yeah, this is the color and color guide. If I wanna just erase it, I take eraser tool and I can just erase the parts of that. For example, if I wanna make it look like it was previously, like I don't like what I did and I just want to make it back, I usually choose the buttons Command and Z, and I just click them both in the same time. So I just click the Command, I push Command button, and then I push Z, yeah, and I just delete all this stuff. If you open some tools, you can see how you can open them with your keyboard. So here is Shift+A or C. It's sometimes very useful in case of working fast, but I usually just prefer click the tool. Here's the text tool. So yeah, you just kind of drag it, move it, and make it as big as you want, and then you just change the text and do whatever you want in here. So yeah, you can change the size. You need to select that, and I can change the size of the text. I can change the position of the text in here. I can change the font, which is in here. So I can do it like this, for example. So, and I can change the opacity of the text. Let me zoom out. So if you want to zoom out, you can just click the zoom tool and the right button of your mouse and it's zoom out. Yeah, or you can do it in here. You just do it like this, like by the percents. So let's work with width tool. I will make a shape with the rectangle tool, and here you actually can make not only the rectangle tool, but the rounded rectangle and ellipse tool and polygon tool. So let's make a star. I want to make a star in here. I click selection tool, I drag it where I need it, and then I take width tool. There are some different type of tools in here. Also, if you want to open like some more tools, if you will see this little arrow in the corner, you can just click by the right button of your mouse and you just choose it. Like for example, I want to take a twirl tool and I just do like that. I just click by the left button of the mouse and I kind of like twirl it. And there are like some more tools. You can just play with them however you want. They are doing different stuff. They are playing with dots of your shape, of your path. So, and if you want to make a curved path, not like that one we've done previously, you can go here in curvature tool and you make it curved. So it's like just more easier if you want to make a smooth line. And if you don't like the color which appears here, you just go, you click this button, no color, and here in stroke. And so you make the shape kind of more curved and smooth. This is the tool I used mostly for my work when I was making different paths for the portrait. So, and when I was doing my background, which is here, I'll just unlock that. I was making just straight paths and straight lines, and then I was using the width tool or warp tool, and I just kind of drag it in here so I make it look more smooth and kind of change the shape of that. So yeah. I need to firstly select the path I want to work with, and then I can do that. Always remember select paths you work with or the layer in here, so you don't make any mistakes on any other layers. And if you really don't need the layer anymore, just lock it. Or if you don't need to see it, just do it invisible. So it will be just much easier for you to work on that. One more thing, if you, for example, put the layer, you just click the layer and move it in here and put it on top of it, you can see that the background actually changed. So, or like here, for example, you can see that now my picture is above my paths. So yeah, that's very important too, because the order of your layers actually go in specific order, so it changes your picture, how does it look. And the hand tool just helps you to drag stuff and just like move kind of your artboard in here. So these are the actual basic tools you need. And here, don't forget about your layers, never forget about them. If you want, for example, make a new work, I will lock all these layers and I will make a new work. I just go File and I go New, and here I change it usually to centimeters because it's like just more useful for me, because I understand centimeters much more than inches or pixels. So you choose like how many artboards do you need, how big is going to be. Don't make it too big, because if you make it too big, it's going to load very long time and it will be very hard to work because it will take a long time. The specific of Illustrator that it's doesn't have kind of like, you know, pixels, so you don't have to choose your actual resolution like in Photoshop, because in here you just work, and if you even zoom in, there's no any pixels in there. So I just click create, and here I have just a white artboard with new layers in here. And for example, I want to open some files, like I want to drag my picture in here, so I just choose Husky black and white, and then I go artboards to make it one size, the actual artboard and the picture, and I just go artboards fit to artboard bound. Yeah, so it's like in here. So now you don't have all this white thing about that. Here you have some more settings, which are different tools in here, which you don't have. If you don't have like some tools here or here, you can go to the window and find some more here. Which do you need? Like any of them. The file is the thing, the kind of like section where you make new works, open files, close it or save it, export it. So to export, you just go here, export as, and you just choose the name and where you're going to export that, and the format. Format is very important actually, because you can export that as a picture or Photoshop file or any other type of the file you want to make. And if I want to save it or save a copy, for example, it's the same thing. You just choose the format in here. So if you want to export that as a picture, you go, or just save it as a picture, you go export. If you want to save it as an actual file in actual Illustrator Adobe program, you just go with Adobe Illustrator. So yeah, and here's the AI, which are the symbols for the Adobe Illustrator file, and you just save it wherever you want. That's pretty much everything in this program I've learned during this year. I wish you really good work in this program, and I really love it, and I really recommend it to you for using, because it's very useful in case of making some pictures and projects like mine in here, which is Inkspot projects. And I really hope you enjoyed my tutorial. So goodbye!